Hello, welcome to Life Matters. I'm your host, Brendan O'Connell. Well, 4 years ago, or 5 years ago, I think in 2013, I guess 4 years ago, we had Eric Scheidler on this show who was bringing forth a new concept called the National Day of Remembrance for Aborted Children. And it's growing around the country, and it has to do with remembering those children that have been aborted. And we're up to almost 60 million people that have been aborted since Roe versus Wade occurred in January of 1973, when I was a freshman at Georgetown University. And today we have with us Rita Russo, who's gotten involved with the National Day of Remembrance. Welcome, Rita.
Thank you, Brendan. Happy to be here.
Rita, tell us a little bit about National Day of Remembrance. How did you get involved, and why is it necessary?
Well, I heard about it maybe from an email on one of my pro-life mailings, and it was actually begun by Citizens for Pro-Life Society, Priests for Life, and the Pro-Life Action League, three well-known pro-life organizations who felt that there was a need to recognize the lives that were lost and to honor them with prayer and a respectful memorial service. And it's not only important for us as pro-life people in a pro-life community to mark the grave sites and to honor those that have died, but I believe it has great potential for healing and comforting parents of children that have been aborted, because abortion is very often a well-kept secret. People don't talk about it. So many of those women who have had abortions, contrary to what you see on the television by the really militant pro-abortion people, there are many who suffer in silence and carry the burden of that secret their whole lives. And I believe that this National Day of Remembrance gives those people an opportunity to mix with the crowd and come anonymously to come and pray for their child that they lost to abortion many years ago. There's always some pain associated with that, to varying degrees with various people, but it's a heavy burden to carry, the knowledge that you've killed your child.
It certainly is. And now, I know when we had Eric on before, he was talking about upholding the dignity of their life, which was stripped away by abortion, and also to recognize the loss for society as a whole here in America. What do you make of that? Do you think that's right on, or?
Well, statistically speaking, 1/3 of the present generation is missing. So if you go to any classroom in America, only 2/3 of the children that would be there without abortion are there today.
Wow.
So they've lost 1/3 of their peers to abortion.
I know in the Civil War we lost roughly 650,000 people, and this is almost
650,000 people compared to 60 million.
Right, and
it's unbelievable.
It is. And now, as far as does this provide these post-abortive men and women who might join you or join at a memorial or at a gravesite? Is this a way to give them healing and closure to this tragic decision of having had an abortion?
There are all kinds of healing ministries out there, and people don't know about them. But it is certainly a step in the right direction. I think that it can be a source of great comfort for them to honor their aborted child this way, the child they have lost. The real goal is to steer them to healing ministries. We have groups like Silent No More in Massachusetts.
That's Kathy Hill.
Kathy Hill. She does a healing ministry, and there are many. Most pregnancy resource organizations will either offer post-abortive counseling or be able to refer you to a place where you can get it.
I see. Here in Massachusetts, we have Project Rachel.
We have Project Rachel. We have Silent No More. Kathy's program is Surrendering the Secret.
Now, And what about Rachel's Vineyard, which
Rachel's
is
Vineyard,
Dr. Theresa Burke?
and that is from Priests for Life, and there are groups in the state for Rachel's Vineyard.
She wrote a terrific book called Forbidden Grief. Well, now tell us a little bit about, we have a book here in front of us by a former guest on our show, Monica Migliorino Miller. Tell us about this book. Have you read this book?
This is a wonderful read. It is the story, it's called Abandoned, the story of the abortion wars. And Monica Miller was a pro-lifer who prayed and gave witness outside abortion clinics, and they began to investigate what happened to these babies after they were aborted. And they began to search, and they would find in dumpsters and trash barrels hundreds and thousands of aborted babies.
Wow.
They even found babies buried in pet cemeteries. What to do with aborted babies continues to be a problem today to the abortion industry. They have tons and tons of dead babies that they don't know what to do with. And they end up in places that are disgusting, down garbage disposals and in landfills and things of that nature. But the book is about their journey and how they got many, many aborted babies from these places, and they gave them Christian burial. They gave them respectful burial honoring their humanity.
So is it a big percentage that have respectful burials, or a very small percentage?
It's a very small percentage, because if you found 5,000 or 10,000 babies and buried them, that's nothing compared to 60 million. So, you know.
And so around the country, are there going to be services at a cemetery, or is it at a memorial? I know I bicycled by a church north of Boston, and they happen to have a memorial for unborn children. Give us a flavor for what is the ratio, I guess, or how many people?
Well, I can't tell you the ratio, but there are 51 identified burial sites of aborted babies in the country, in the whole country. There's only one that we know of in Massachusetts, and beyond that.
And where is that? Do you know?
That's at Holy Cross Cemetery in Malden. And there are 12 babies that were buried there. And that was quite some number of years ago. I have the year somewhere here, but there will be a service at that site at Malden, at Holy Cross Cemetery in Malden on this Sunday at 3 o'clock in the afternoon.
On Sunday, or?
No, it's Saturday.
Saturday.
I'm sorry. It's Saturday.
Saturday,
not Sunday.
September.
Saturday, September 9th.
Okay.
Is the National Day of Remembrance. And there are services, memorial services at 8 other memorial sites in the state. And memorial site is usually a place where a stone or a statue has been placed honoring the children lost to abortion. And the places that there are events on Saturday in addition to the actual burial site.
So now in Malden, is it Malden where there's a cemetery, and that's going to take at 3 o'clock?
3 o'clock.
On Saturday
Right.
afternoon, okay.
And all of this information and all of these sites are on the website, abortionmemorials.com. So it's
And then once you go to the website, how do you look it up?
You look it up by state and screen down all the places in the state, and there are 24 places in the state that have stones or something to commemorate the lost babies. And they are marked with a red asterisk and the details if they have a memorial service this Saturday.
Okay,
And
very
the
good.
time, all the
Well, tell us
information.
some of the sites here in Massachusetts. What would they be?
Well, obviously there will be one at the Holy Cross Cemetery in Malden, and the other sites there's one in Arlington, Knights of Columbus, on Winslow Street, and St. Patrick's Cemetery in Chicopee, and St. Camilla's Parish in Fitchburg, St. Mary's Cemetery in Franklin, only a few more, so bear with me. St. Mary's Cemetery in Needham, the Knights of Columbus in Norwood, St. Mary's Cemetery in North Attleboro, and I believe there's one more. This list has all of the memorials.
I see
in the
one in
state.
Sturbridge there. You have one in Sturbridge, right here.
But there's
Stockbridge, pardon me.
Stockbridge, but there is no service plan there.
Oh, okay.
Okay. And the last place that has a service planned is Our Lady of Lourdes Catholic Church in Wellfleet. So those are the states in Massachusetts. And if you want to look over the border somewhere to a bordering state, they're all listed at abortionmemorials.com.
So on Saturday, if I was, say, a post-abortive man or woman, and I just wanted to say some prayers anonymously and, ask God for forgiveness, that sort of thing, if I went to one of these sites, at what time of day? Is it all different times?
They're different times depending.
And you don't have to announce yourself. You can just go up and be.
You just become one of the crowd, anonymously go and pray with the others. You don't have to acknowledge anything. You just be a prayer person there for the unborn and pray for your child.
Mm-hmm.
Your child is in heaven with God, and this is an opportunity for you to communicate with that child.
I see. And this picture here, which is kind of blurred with a hand, that is a dead child that they found?
That is one of the dead babies that they found in a dumpster.
In a dumpster.
Right,
Wow,
and that's a fitting cover, picture for the book, because a picture has 1,000 words, says 1,000 words, and that's what the book is about. Monica Miller actually spent time in jail. I mean, these people were so committed to the cause for life and to bringing dignity and proper burial to these babies. It's a riveting read.
Well, now we've had some good news that Stericycle, which used to collect and transport
fetal remains,
fetal remains, baby body parts,
right,
from the abortion clinics, and then bring them either to a landfill or to a research center, or.
It's a very large disposal company, and they had hundreds of contracts with Planned Parenthood to dispose of the fetal remains. And I believe it was Stericycle that was steam treating them and putting them in landfills. Pretty disgusting.
And now they had been picketed, I know, and brought away. Now, have they gotten out of the business, or? They
got a lot of bad publicity over this, and they did cancel hundreds of contracts with Planned Parenthood.
That was recently?
That was it feels like the last 6 months to me.
Yeah. Well, that's good news in the sense that that puts a burden on the abortionist to decide what they're going to do with the aborted remains of baby girls and baby boys that have been aborted.
Some of those tapes that were released by David Daleiden, they talk about what a huge problem it is in the abortion industry, disposing of remains.
Yes.
Yeah, they go into graphic detail. It's disgusting, but it's the truth.
Right. Now, also, you have 40 Days for Life coming up fairly soon. Can you tell us about 40 Days for Life in Boston? What do you have planned this fall?
Well, 40 Days for Life, for those of you that don't know, it's a campaign of prayer and fasting, peaceful vigil outside an abortion clinic, and community outreach. And here in Boston, this is our 10th campaign in 5 years. We do it spring and fall. And we will have people praying and giving witness on the sidewalk, 1055 Commonwealth Avenue in Boston. There are other campaigns within the state. But our campaign, we try to have a lot of events because people like to come and pray with other people.
So on September 24th, we have up on the screen, what's going on that day? Is that a...
we have, before the actual campaign begins, what we call a prayer launch. We believe that's the best way to start the campaign. And we have that at Britannia 2 on Summer Street in Medway. And we have Mass at 4 o'clock. Father Dermot Roach will be celebrating Mass. And we always have a pro-life speaker. And this year, we have Theresa Tomeo speaking.
Wow, that's really something.
And she is a very well-known radio personality. She has 500 shows. She's a...
500 stations.
500 stations, yeah. She's shown on 500 stations. And she's published many books. And she actually has two shows a week on EWTN. So she's going to be a great speaker. That's open to the public, no charge. We invite everybody to come, and we even feed you after. So come on down.
That's in Medway.
Medway.
That's what, Route 109 or where is?
You want me to give directions, Brendan?
No, that's
you
okay.
Have to
People
Google
can. I forget. People have different apps that they can check it out, and And what do you foresee this year? I know that you've had some tremendous weather issues on 40 Days for Life. What's it like trying to get people out to pray for 1 hour?
It's very hard work because I'm not going to tell you it's fun because it's not fun. But it's very important. It's very important to stand there and give witness and pray for these babies. And, you know, we've had a lot of success since this campaign went national in 2007. Over 30,000 babies have been saved.
Wow.
And these are confirmed saves. People see you praying and offering help, and they either don't go in or they come out and they say they changed their mind. So we have over 30,000 confirmed babies saved. Abortion clinics are closing. I believe the number's up to 89.
89 abortion clinics?
Have closed, right. People are leaving the industry.
Abortion workers?
Yeah, workers are leaving the industry, yeah. And it's spread now to 44 countries. It's been in all 50 states here in the U.S., has spread to 44 other countries. I would encourage you to, if you want to know about 40 Days, go to 40daysforlife.com and sign up for the emails, because that's how I got hooked. The stories of the babies saved and the wonderful things that happen at these campaigns is so uplifting. You know, you'll be...
What if they wanted to, here in Boston, if they wanted to sign up to go out in front of Planned Parenthood in Boston? How do they do that?
Well, you can find a campaign close to you by going to 40daysforlife.com, and there's a box you click on to find a campaign near you, and it gives you all the campaigns you pick the country first, and then you pick the state. So then you would click on Boston and join the Boston campaign. And on my website, 40daysforlife.com/Boston, all the 24 events that we're having during this campaign, the organized events on the sidewalk. Most we have a priest, a couple we have a minister. We even have a secular silent vigil, witness vigil this time around. So all of those events are listed, the times, and we would encourage people to access them. If you've never been out there before, come to a formal event, because then you're going to feel comfortable. There'll be other people. And beyond that, we want people out there praying 7 a.m. to 7 p.m. every single day for 40 days, giving witness. You could save a life. You never know. You never know.
And how about for the neophyte, the first time they've been out there and they see women going in, and are they supposed to talk to these people or you know, counsel them, or what do they do? Or
the focus of 40 days is not necessarily to be a sidewalk counselor. People can go and just pray. You never know. God can use you. The days that there are abortions going on, there are sidewalk counselors there in the morning usually. And they are giving out literature and counseling women and talking to women, so that you don't have to feel that responsibility yourself. We can always provide you with some brochures if you would like brochures to hand out, so that you feel you have resources to give people. But don't feel you have the responsibility. You know, there are great stories out there of babies that have been saved just because someone showed up. One of the stories is a book, 40 Days for Life. See what God has done, imagine what he can do. And each of the 40 chapters is a different story. And one of the stories in that book is about two men that were out there on a rainy night, and they didn't want to be there. One guy said, I'm just going to sit in my car. And the other guy said, no, I said I'd stand out here. I'm going to stand. And a woman came out and said she changed her mind just because they were there. She was looking for a sign. And the men were praying, and they saved a life that night. And they didn't do anything but stand there and pray.
Huh. Wow,
So,
that's really something.
You know, you don't know what God can do. God can work with anyone.
And has the Archdiocese of Boston backed you on this?
We don't have formal recognition by the Archdiocese, but I do have many priests who come out and lead us in prayer on
Catholic
the vigil
priests?
site. Yes.
I see.
Yes.
And what about college groups? Are they getting involved at all?
Well, they have Students for Life is on all the campuses in the Boston area, and they do have a lot of campus activities. They don't come out to the sidewalk too much. They tend to focus, but we would love to have them out more. So any of you college students watching, we'd love to have you come out and join us. We have people all ages. We have mothers with strollers that come out and pray. We have people in their 80s and 90s that come out and pray, the whole spectrum. So everyone is welcome. Abortion affects everyone. It's a problem for all of us.
And it's intergenerational,
It is
too. I mean, you might
intergenerational.
have a grandmother affecting a granddaughter, and
Yes.
then the generations, they might skip, but they...
Priests for Life has a program called Shockwaves, and each month they address a different group affected by abortion. Mothers, fathers, grandparents, aunts, uncles, cousins, siblings. It's remarkable, but they are acknowledging that abortion affects everyone.
And Rita, how did you get involved with 40 Days for Life?
You know, I couldn't tell you for sure, but I got on the email list somehow. I don't remember how. And I'm telling you, the stories I told you about the baby saved and the good things happening at the different campaigns, it will warm your heart. We need that. We need that good news because it's a dark world when you think about all the babies that are dying and that we're killing our children here in America every single day. Close to 3,000 babies a day die to abortion in America.
Now, I know that abortion has gone down roughly 1 million a year now, maybe a little less, which is a good thing. And one of the things that troubles me is that there's more now medical abortions where they give you some pills and you're supposed to go home and take them in the privacy of your home versus a...
Chemical abortion, right.
Right. And you know, I wonder sometimes those people that, and the abortion industry is pushing those abortions because they make more profit that way. I wonder how many of the people that take those pills and go home actually ingest them versus those that don't.
Well, they take the first pill, the one that kills the baby, there in the clinic before they leave.
Oh, they do?
They do,
Oh.
yes. And the other pill that they take, I believe it's 2 days later, is the pill to cause contractions to expel the dead baby. But there's something now called abortion pill reversal, which people need to know about. The abortion pill that you take the first day interferes with progesterone, which sustains the pregnancy, so the lining is destroyed, the baby dies of starvation. Essentially. If there are women who change their minds, I believe 300 babies have been born, healthy babies have been born to women who change their mind, reverse their abortion process. There's a 24-hour hotline. You can look it up online, abortion pill reversal.
Right, that's Dr. Delgado,
and
he's building a network across the country.
They will get you to a doctor near you who will give you high doses of progesterone, and in many cases it's not too late and the baby can be saved. So, and there are great stories about families, women and their partners who are overjoyed with their baby and so grateful that they were able to stop that bad decision in its tracks and save their baby, and they're having their beautiful baby now that they enjoy and love and cherish.
I see. Well, gee, Rita, it's so wonderful to have you in the studio. You're really a great pro-life warrior, advocate, and you've done a tremendous amount, and we in the pro-life community are very grateful for the efforts that you've given over the years.
Well,
thank you so much.
Thank you, Brendan. You're kind to say that, but it's very near and dear to my heart. I'm a retired OB nurse.
You are?
Yes. And
Obstetrics, that's a...
Yeah, obstetrical nurse. And I've seen a lot of babies born. I've seen a lot of babies lost due to natural causes. And the thought that these very sad things are happening because people are asking to have it done by abortion, it's just goes against my grain.
Right. Well, folks, we hope you found today's show to be unique, informative, content-rich, truthful, and thought-provoking. And we hope you get out there this Saturday for the Day of Remembrance of Aborted Children and pay tribute, and whether you do it with prayer or in silence, at either the memorials or the one cemetery that they have in Malden. And then, of course, Rita's got Theresa Tomeo coming in on Sunday, September 24th, and 40 Days for Life begins Friday?
Wednesday, the 27th, till November 5th.
Oh, okay.
A Wednesday to a Sunday, but it's every day during that time.
I see, 7 a.m. to 7 p.m. please do sign up for an hour and get out there and pray in silence. And Rita may be there, so you can
That's
get
right.
her. You can get her autograph. How about that? Thanks
Come
so
down
much.
and keep me company.
We hope you enjoyed today's show, and we'll see you next week.